Now that we've talked about the measures of central tendency in a set of data, that is, where the data tends to cluster in the middle, we're going to look at the measures of dispersion next. And dispersion is how wide of spread that data has. And there's a couple different measures of dispersion, two in particular that we're going to look at. One, I have written up here, the range is the difference between the highest and lowest data values. Okay, so the range, technically you're just taking the highest value minus the lowest value. Very simple subtraction, not too complicated. So we'll take a look at that one in this video, and then we'll look at the other measure of dispersion called the standard deviation in the next video. Here I have a data set, and what it is, I looked at the book of Genesis in the Bible and just kind of looked at the ages of Noah's ancestors when they died. Okay, so whether or not you believe these are actual years or not, that these people actually lived that long or that they even existed, it's not what I'm here to convince you of. I tend to believe that probably is true, but there's a lot of debate about that, even outside of the Christian world. There's a lot of, or inside, there's a lot of debate about what these ages actually mean. But let's just take them for face value, what they are, and just do some math. We're just here to do some math, so I thought it was kind of interesting to throw these numbers up there. So anyway, so Noah, you may be familiar with the account of Noah's flood, right? The whole world gets flooded, Noah gets saved. He gets on an ark with two of every kind of animal and his family. And so before that time, these are the ages of all of his ancestors. His father was Lamech, and his father was Methuselah, and so forth, up to Adam, who was, in theory, the first human being. And so these are the ages that they, when they died, according to the book of Genesis. And so we can find the range of this set of data by simply taking the highest value, which is, if you look at that, it's Methuselah, was the oldest person, and subtracting off the lowest value, which was Enoch. And now what's kind of interesting, the reason I put a little star there, Enoch, the book of Genesis says that Enoch actually didn't die. He was removed by God from the earth, and so maybe he didn't actually die at 365. If he did, he would definitely be the outlier on this list, right? But anyway, so just to do this, do the calculation here, we're just going to take as our range the difference between Methuselah and Enoch, because they are the highest and lowest values respectively. So we have 969 minus 365, and that value should be 604 years. Okay, so we have a 604, did I do that right? 406, yeah, 604 years difference in the range of those lifespans. Okay, now if you were to take that outlier out, then I suppose Lamech is the low value there. It's 777, and so then you could just recalculate the range if you took that out. But I'm going to go ahead and not take out the outlier. We'll leave everything in there. So okay. So anyway, that's just a very basic calculation for range. It's a subtraction. And in the next video, we'll talk about one that's quite a bit more complicated. It goes from one simple calculation to a plethora of other calculations to get a standard deviation in, which we'll talk about next.